Hello, welcome to Marvel Unwrapped, where we explore Marvel's greatest topics. I am your host, Cole Brunson.
And I'm your co-host, Logan Burns.
Thank you. Today's episode, which is actually our second official episode, is the powers of the Infinity Stones and which ones would we have. So, Logan, do you want to start it off, or do you want me to start it off?
Oh, I can start it off.
All right.
I think the Infinity Stone that I would love the most to have is the Reality Stone. It's so underrated. I mean, you could literally do anything with it. If you think about it, you can control all of reality. You could probably make more Infinity Stones with that one.
Maybe, but honestly, the power of it, I mean, I know it's an Infinity Stone, but I don't think it would have enough power to create another Infinity Stone, since the Infinity Stones were there in the beginning, as in Doctor Strange. I mean, trust me, I've thought over this too, because wouldn't Thanos be able to create his own gauntlet with the stones already there? But then it just seems like a lot of power that would just go into one stone.
Yeah. But I mean, still, that would be a really, really good stone to have. You could end world hunger. You could end literally anything. You could make the earth bigger. You just change anything to make it good. And it's just it's a very underrated stone. They never really used it that much. In Thor: The Dark World, where it was introduced, it was the liquid, and then in the Infinity War and Endgame, it was not used at all, which I didn't like that much. But yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, my favorite one, I don't know. I think I will still go with reality. I mean, there are a lot of good ones, but reality, like you said, there's so much you can use with it, and so many multiple things you can do. Like as Thanos said, reality can be anything, as I imagine, or something like that in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a good one. And don't get me wrong, all the Infinity Stones, if I could just have one of them, no matter what it was, I would be super happy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I do quite a bit with them. But I think if I had the option to get any of them, I would definitely go with the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
And then probably my favorite scene with it was probably, well, I don't know if it's with the Reality Stone, but they're discussing it in Avengers Game, where Thor's he's overweight, kind of drunk, and he's going over all his past memories with it. And he was going over this super depressing story about him breaking up with his girlfriend, and she's hand inside this rock, and the thing climbed on inside her. And then I don't know. It's not exactly with the stone, but it's just disgusting. Super funny for me.
The one scene where I feel it was used a lot was in that one scene with Thanos telling his backstory almost to Doctor Strange on the planet Titan. And I feel that showed so much potential that was wasted with it. They really could have done a lot. They could have even done kind of what Scarlet Witch did. He could show the Avengers realities that would weaken them like that. He could show Captain America, Peggy, or Iron Man and stuff like that to get them out of the game and then kill them. And if you can change reality with it, why wouldn't you just use them to bring them out of reality? They nerfed it a lot. Why didn't he just bring the Avengers out of reality and kill them?
That is a great... that is a good thing. I didn't even think about that before. But, jeez.
Yeah. It's very, it's criminally underrated. Everyone always talks about the Time Stone or other stuff, which is, don't get me wrong, still amazing, but, the Reality Stone is just,
Yeah, reality can be anything as you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's basically lying, except the lying comes true. I am not saying that you should lie and use that anytime you can. I'm just saying it kind of revolves around that. But, I guess next, should we still rank the stones?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go first this time. So Reality Stone, we mainly discussed that, but and I love how they had the origin with it too. How it was kind of there in the beginning, all the Infinity Stones were separated in the world, and I loved how they did that. How like everything was like so separated that it's like
Yeah.
impossible to do them at 3 times. Although it was an end game when they went to New York, but that's because people brought them there. But besides that, the Reality Stone, the Dark Elves are constantly trying to find it, and that was pretty cool seeing how they can like grasp any, and they're like doing anything to get it, and they could like they created that one dwarf into like this like really strong guy. I forgot the name of him, but it was really cool. And I guess that's it for me for the Reality Stone. Moving on, I will do the Power Stone. I guess I'm going into how Thanos collected them. But next, Power Stone, I feel like, I don't know, they could have elaborated more. I guess I don't exactly know how to describe it, but the Power Stone, most of the stones were in multiple movies, but the Power Stone, I feel like it could have. I mean, like, it did play a big role in Guardians of the Galaxy because it was literally destroying everything. But they should have included it in more things because, especially since in Infinity War, when they're discussing the background of how Thanos got it, he just said he decimated Xandar and destroyed the whole place just to get it. But he only talks a small part about that. But I think that would have been a really cool fight scene with Thanos and Xandar, and then they're all trying to fight him to get it.
That's gonna go in, not the part with Thanos, but I think it's gonna be like, do you remember that one part with that like giant dude in Guardians of the Galaxy talking about how he destroyed that planet? Like,
oh yeah, that was Ego's dad, I think, actually.
That's gonna be in the upcoming Eternals movie that Marvel is making. It's gonna be about like those superhero teams before the Avengers, and it was like millions and millions of years before, and that guy is like the villain or one of them. So it's actually gonna go more into that, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, because in the comics, he was Ego's dad. Ego is the Peter Quill or Star-Lord's dad in the second Guardians of the Galaxy. But he was his dad. I'm not sure if they'll elaborate completely on that because in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Ego was explaining his backstory, he was sort of explaining how he was like he didn't understand anything, and then all of a sudden there was a light, and then he could start creating himself. I'm not sure if they will fully bring that in to the Eternals movie. Like, it would be cool, but it kind of, I don't know, it'd be, if they do bring it in, then it'd be cool to see how they transferred it from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But besides that, I think the Eternals looks like and will be a good movie.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah. And then next, I'll move on to the Space Stone, which is the next one Thanos got. I feel like this stone is overrated. Like, the Reality Stone, it's really helpful. And, like, that Reality Stone, underrated. Space Stone, overrated. Because, like,
all it can do is teleport, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a cool ability, but compared to all of them, that's, I don't know, it seems like maybe the weakest to me. Because, like, the Space Stone, that's in quite a bit of movies. It's in
a lot. Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah, it was in the Avengers.
It's been in every single Avengers movie, hasn't it?
Wait, I don't think it was in Ultron.
Oh,
wait.
Oh, I was the Mind Stone was not the other ones.
Oh yeah, because they did have it disguised as blue before they put it into Vision's head.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. And so then the Space Stone, I feel like, is overrated because that's the one Loki tried so hard to get in the first Avengers, when he could have been, like, he already had the Mind Stone because Thanos' his, like, I don't know why, but his, like, I forgot the name, but, like, his servant kind of was the one who was who gave all this stuff to Loki to collect them for Thanos. But he sent him to get the Space Stone, which I feel like there'd be a lot easier one. Well, actually, the Space Stone would probably be the easiest one to get because the Power Stone had, like, all that technology that was guarding it that only Star-Lord could get by because he had futuristic technology. The Soul Stone, you could only have the map for. The Time Stone, you'd have to go through all of the Ancient One and all of her like people who helped her in Doctor Strange. And then Mind Stone, he already had that. Reality Stone, no one knew where it were. So actually, the Space Stone was probably the only one that Loki would be able to get.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand why he did go for it, but definitely I still think it is overrated because there's so many other things that other ones can do.
Like, you can control time or reality. Like, you can teleport with this one, which is, like, cool. But, I mean, for an Infinity Stone, it's, like, something like a grade B character in the Marvel Universe would be able to do.
Like, there's so many other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So many other, like, more powerful ones that I think should have had more time.
Yeah, it's, like, weird to think about, like, an Infinity Stone. One of the most powerful things in the world is, like, on the same power level as, like, Nightcrawler. One of, like, the X-Men that's not even that popular. Like,
I don't know. Nightcrawler, like, I think he still is my favorite X-Men. He's, like, underrated.
Yeah, he's really cool. But, like...
Yeah, he can... He's, like, super good at swords and fighting. But
he's probably more powerful than the Space Stone.
Yeah. Like his comics are pretty gory, so if you have sensitive eyes or to comic stuff, I'd recommend not reading the Nightcrawler series. I've read like 3 series and like 2 of them were pretty violent and then one was like okay, but back on track. With the Space Stone, I think it more of the Infinity Stone should have had better screen time than this. Although if I have it, I could teleport multiple places, which since I love Disneyland, and if I could go there, I could probably skip the lines pretty easily. So, Space Stone would be pretty fun.
But with the Reality Stone, you could just take away the lines. Yeah.
Or make it not populated at all.
And with the Time Stone, you could like just go back in time to when it was empty.
Boom. There we go. We figured it out when we're in Disneyland with the Infinity. But Space Stone, main summary, should have had less screen time and should have had more screen time for other stones.
My second favorite stone is the Time Stone. I mean, like, really good.
Yeah. Like, and yes, Doctor Strange, like, using it, and Doctor Strange's powers are pretty cool.
I mean, like, being able to, like, travel in time would be, like, so much fun. You know, like, just, like, going back to see anything. Although, like, you can get stuck in, like, time loops or stuff like that with it. So it's, like, they kind of, like, nerfed it again. Kind of like what I was saying about the Reality Stone, like what they did in the movies. It feels like they got the ones that could be the most powerful, like, those 2 probably. They give them, like, something to make them not as powerful as they were in the comics.
Yeah. Because, like, the Eye of Agamotto in the comic, it wasn't actually just, like, holding the stone. It wasn't just a necklace. It was actually a big eye. That was still in the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange's place. Yeah. It wasn't actually just, like, a necklace. It was, like, an actually, like, big eye.
Which...
Yeah. Doctor Strange comics are, like, kind of weirder than the movies. I mean, like, it's still interesting to watch to see how, like, Stan Lee and, like, all the Marvel creators created it into it. But if you're looking for, like, the typical Avengers comics, I recommend not reading this series.
It's, like, they took a really big, like, leap of faith on that one because Doctor Strange was not a popular hero before that came out. Like, not a whole lot of people knew about them. But, like, I just loved, like, seeing that whole, like, mystical world and how the Eye of Agamotto and the Time Stone revolved around that. Like, that final battle with the time loop, that was really cool.
I have come to bargain.
Yeah. But, yeah, the Time Stone, just great stone.
Yeah. And then in order, the next one Thanos did collect was the Reality Stone, but we already discussed that. Next, we have the Soul Stone, which, honestly, I'm pretty disappointed of how they brought it in. Because the Soul Stone... it is a really powerful one. You could, like, in the comics, you could, like, take anyone, and then you could just bring their whole soul into the stone. It was kind of like a prison, but it could, like, hold anyone, kind of. I forgot, but in the Infinity Gauntlet series, they, I forgot how, but he trapped Adam Warlock. I'm not sure. It was someone he trapped into the Infinity Stone. I forgot who, though. I read the series a long time ago. But he used it and it was pretty
Yeah, I think it
powerful.
was Adam
But
Warlock.
yeah, and then I think no, I don't want to say that because I'm not sure if it's true. I think it is, but I'm not going to take a risk on it. But basically with the Soul Stone, they could have easily brought it in like in an earlier movie, or at least like
Mm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know. I mean, like, I understand why they did bring it in Infinity War, but I think they should have brought it in
Yeah.
before. Because it's like they're just trying to bring it in just
Yeah, I
because
remember that being like the big thing
at a small
of like
time.
Infinity
Yeah.
War, like finding out where the Soul Stone was. And like there were like tens of millions of theories about what that was going to be. I remember even hearing stuff like Ned was going to have it in his backpack and give it to Peter and like as a birthday present or something.
Yo, I found this stone. It's pretty cool,
Like it
man.
landed in my backyard. Like that would be really disappointing if they did that, but it would be kind of funny. But yeah, I feel like they, to be honest, I don't really know what that stone is supposed to do. Like,
The Soul
yeah,
Stone?
like it's like it always felt like it was just kind of there. Like it never had any special powers that it did in like any of the battles.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. They like brought it in super late, which I do not think they should have done. And then they also like didn't even use it at all.
Yeah.
Like even when like in an end game when Thanos had the whole gauntlet and he was fighting with it, he even pulled the Power Stone out of it to fight.
Yeah.
He could have easily done that with the Soul Stone or any of the other stones, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
felt like they could have done a lot more with it. It just felt like it, like I said, it left me wondering like, so what did it do? Like, it,
Yeah. Like if you like follow the comic base, then you know what it does,
yeah.
but even like the stones that are in the movies usually have like a tweak of a difference of what they actually do than in the comics. And I wanted to see how they'd bring the Soul Stone in and what they'd do with it, but they didn't use it at all. He only used it just to finish the
Yeah.
gauntlet. But it's that I didn't really notice anything that happened.
But moving on to the final stone, the Mind Stone. This one seems kind of like like it's like seems like kind of like in the middle of everything. Like it's cool. It's like huge. It's like way bigger than all the other ones. It's
Yeah.
what gave Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch her powers, and Vision. It's what powered him. It could shoot like laser beams and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it was really cool.
Have used the power all over for different things. I mean, like, trust me, it was cool. Like in Avengers, the very first Avengers, it did play an important role, and I honestly like a lot how they like used it and stuff. And that was like really cool how they used it, like with the whole scepter.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find a scepter on like eBay or Amazon, but they only have like metal ones. Those are super
Yeah.
expensive. But they definitely used it how they should have in Avengers and Avengers Age. Well, actually, in Age of Ultron, Ultron only used the scepter once to like make the scientists be on his side. But besides that, Thanos could have wiped out the whole Avengers super easily with it by using its power to like them and change them the other way. But I think the main three stones that Thanos used were the Space Stone, Power Stone, and Time Stone. It was like the time he used to reverse on Vision. The Power Stone he used multiple times to like waves and then punch Captain Marvel and do all that with. And the Space Stone he teleported quite a bit. But besides that, the stone just didn't really have anything.
If I could say one more thing, it's just that I think the most overrated stone out of all of them is the Power Stone. Like, I don't know, like it. But when I like rewatched all the movies, it didn't actually like do anything other than that. Like, it's supposed to be the Power Stone, but like, what does it power? It just makes things like kaboom.
Yeah, it has like the power. Like, I guess Power Stone is. I guess it's not I get what they're trying to get at with the title. I think they could have switched the strength stone. Well, I don't know.
Explosion
the power,
stone.
more of like energy power and strength power and all those. But I don't think it's overrated because it's supposed to be the power stone, and that's the one.
Something cool they could have done would be like maybe make it all the other, like it could make all the other stones powerful if they're all like with it, or like I don't know, like it just seemed like it couldn't. All it did was make things explode. That's probably just my opinion, but like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like they do. I think the MCU, trust me, they're the best movie making series in the world. But for the Infinity Stones, they should have elaborated more on the boundaries of what they can do. So we mainly learn from seeing it in the movies, but usually in the movies they use it for different things. Like the Mind Stone is one thing that confuses me. They put it in Vision's head, which like brought him to life, and that's the thing that keeps him alive. But then in Captain America: Civil War, he was using it to like shoot like energy beams out of his head. That did not make much sense to me at all because I thought it was the Mind Stone. You could like use it for people's power. But it seemed like it was using for the Power Stone, how it was shooting like energy beams and stuff like that.
It seems like, now that we talk about it, it seems like the Infinity Stones were almost like a second thought when they were making the movies. Like,
because like when you like think of the big overview, they're great, but if you get into detail, then there's a lot of things
there's a lot of like kind of plot holes with it. Now, I'm sure it's like a little bit different in the comics. And like, I mean, Marvel is still amazing, but like now that I think about it, they were not like as great as I remember. Except
it's just when you get into detail, like we could also discuss like cool things that they did all the time. But we're here to critique, and honestly, they are super cool in everything they did. There's just usually those little itty bitty things that not many people notice, but if you do, then it makes a big difference on how you.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's like that for everything. Like that could be like for every single thing in Marvel. But yeah.
I think so. Now we are going to rank them from the sixth or the least to the greatest on what we would use them and if we could have them, what they were. Yes, for my last one, for my ranking number 6, well, I don't know. I'm thinking of how we should do this based on the powers that are used in the movies. Or let's just stick to the movies and not do comics, since movies would be easier to get to. All right, so if we're doing movie style, then for the least, I think I would have the Space Stone because, well, actually, let me refresh this. Actually, I think I would go with the Power Stone because I know it's super strong and all that, but compared to how it was, you can't just hold it with your hand unless you have a bunch of power. Like, yes, Thanos could hold it, but that was only for a tiny bit, and he has the powers from the gauntlet coursing through him. But when what's it called? The Collector's slave, when she held it, she like vanished and stuff. Ronan could only possess it because it was inside the because it was inside his hammer. Thanos could mainly possess it because it was inside the gauntlet. And Peter Quill could only possess it because he was half celestial, which is basically half God, or as Ego puts it with a lowercase g. But definitely, if you did have it, it would be hard to possess and be hard to use because mainly if you could, the only way you could use it on someone is you like threw it at someone and then they caught it and it like vanished, I guess. And then I guess for my number 5, probably the Soul Stone. Since in the movie we didn't really get to know exactly what it did. I mean, like if it was how it was in the comics, then you could like pull people into the souls, and I think it would be ranked higher. But if we're sticking to movie based, then I think I rank it at number 5 since you don't exactly know the boundaries of what it can and can't do. And next, I would. Reality Stone, Mind Stone, Space Stone, and Time Stone are the ones left. Um, hmm. I think then I would probably pick, honestly, the Time Stone, because the way it is portrayed, Doctor Strange had to take like a ton of studies and had to read a bunch of books just to learn how to harness it, because there's like multiple ways that you can learn the ways of the sorcerers, but there's just much too many things that if I actually it, I'd have to study all these books just to have it, when usually all the other stones, if you just have it, you can use it super easily for basically anything. But the Time Stone, you have to take a lot of studying and all that
Yeah.
just to have it. And then next would probably be the Space Stone, because you just go anywhere. Well, actually, that is another boundary that I think Marvel should have set. Can you just go anywhere you think of, or does it have to be some place you have seen before? Because if you do it, how would you know the exact place of where to go? Because would you need
Yeah.
like coordinates or something like? I mean, it is sci-fi, but that's something that like you would have to know
Yeah.
what the place would look like, since like Thanos just automatically spawned in Wakanda. He's never been to planet Earth before, actually. Well, not that it was shown in the movies, but they should have elaborated more on like the
Yeah.
abilities of where you
But
can and can't
again,
go.
like it's like the Space Stone. So like maybe like the stone knows where it is. Like you could like say like it's kind of like the almost like Earth Stone or whatever. Like it knows where everything is. So like maybe you just say it and then it'll take them to it.
Oh yeah, since the
Yeah.
stones were
That's how I
created
always
in the
thought of it.
beginning, and oh,
Yeah.
so it has all the information of where
That's kind of what I always
everybody.
thought, but
Oh, okay. That is actually a
yeah.
really good theory, and that
Yeah,
probably
but then again,
true.
it would be a big plot hole if that's not true.
Yeah. So I guess next on my list would be the Mind Stone, because you can use it, tap into anyone's mind. I'm not sure if you can read their thoughts also, or if it's
Yeah.
just making them do what you do. But if it's just making them do what you do, you can use it for literally everything. Honestly, if you do use that in comparison with the Reality Stone, they are a bit similar. I think the Reality Stone can do more things, but the Mind Stone can make like any
Yeah.
person do what you want. And then I guess it would be easy to use. Like people have held it and they didn't really
Yeah.
vanish or anything like the Power Stone, so I think it would be easy to possess. Or you just have to fabricate your own spear and use it to put it on people as they do with the scepter. But I think that would definitely go as number 2. And then whopping number 1, we already skipped this, Reality Stone. You can make anything true, like
Yeah.
literally anything you want. It can just be the big variety. Reality can be whatever you want to be. You can be rich movie star. You can even have like money and you didn't even earn
That would
anything or
ruin
do
the
it.
economy, but like still.
Yeah, and I guess yeah. So I guess that's my list. Number 6 is Power Stone. Number 5, Soul Stone. 4, Time Stone. 3, Space Stone. 2, Mind Stone.
Yeah.
And 1, Reality
So
Stone.
now for my list. My least favorite, well, not like least favorite, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'd have to
Bottom
go
of
for
the
Power
list.
Stone. Like everything I said before, like it just felt like all it did was explode. Like, still it was cool, but like, you know, yeah, we already talked about that. But number 5, I would have to go with the Soul Stone. I mean, like I said, it didn't do anything. There was so much it probably could do, but it just didn't elaborate on any of it, so I don't know. Like, it probably would have been really cool if we saw all of it, but we didn't, so. The number 4, like I said, the Mind Stone is kind of like the meh stone. Like, it did cool stuff, gave a bunch of people powers, shoot laser beams, but even though that should be what the Power Stone does, it was like the biggest one, so it might be one of the most powerful, but I don't know. But Yeah, like I said, it was just kind of. It felt like it was just kind of there. Like it did stuff, but not a whole lot of stuff. Number
Mm-hmm.
3, I'd have to go with the Space Stone. Like it is cool. Like it was the Tesseract and all that stuff. Like you can teleport with it,
Yeah,
and I
and
yeah.
powering the tunnel, like it could or create
Mm,
like a big portal, since that's what brought the
yeah.
Chitauri to Earth in the first Avengers. So it
Yeah.
definitely
It
does have a
is
lot of
pretty
power.
cool. I just couldn't really see it going any lower or higher on my list, so that's why it's at number 3. But yeah, really good stone. Number 2, the Time Stone. Like I said before, it'd just be so cool to travel in time and all that stuff. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just really, really cool. And
Mm-hmm.
just like all the little like stuff. But
Like you can create time loops
yeah,
and go back in time. So basically everything that deals with time, the stone can do.
yeah. But number 1 for me, like I said before, the Reality Stone. It's just like so freaking cool, you know? like
Yeah.
you could do anything you want with it. And it's just really, really underrated. I never really see a whole lot of people put this on their lists. But yeah, so that's my list too.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So, and then I guess one thing that I will discuss, since most people usually
Mm.
forget this when I'm talking to people about this, basically, I'll just explain the origins of each Infinity Stone. Um, and I'll do it in chronological order. Uh, Basically, the first Infinity Stone that was introduced, well, actually, it wasn't introduced as a stone, but it was the Space Stone, which was inside the Tesseract, which was in Avengers Endgame, which I guess that is another plot hole. How did it power all the Hydra's guns
Mm.
if
Yeah.
it's a Space Stone and it basically
Yeah.
evaporated everyone? But yeah, so I guess uh that was the very first one to be introduced into the series. Although it was just introduced as a cube, it wasn't introduced into a stone until it was in Infinity War and Thanos crushed the
Yeah.
cube to get the
Well,
stone out of the middle.
did Captain America or Thor come out first?
Wait. No, the Tesseract wasn't
No, so that
in
means it would
the
be.
Thor.
Did Loki have a scepter in Thor? Because that was the Mind Stone.
Hmm. He didn't. He used Odin's staff, which he
Yeah.
used to protect Asgard. The Tesseract was
Oh,
given to
and the
him by
scepter.
Thanos'
Oh,
servant.
yeah. So you're right. Yeah.
Event. Yeah. All right. And then next one to be introduced would be
The scepter.
um
The Mind Stone.
yeah, which would be and that was in
Mm?
Marvel Avengers, and that one brought both of them together, which that one was cool how they had two Infinity Stones in one. I had them in one, and then that was kind of cool how it showed like kind of what Infinity War would be like, since they had two powerful
Yeah.
stones in one to fight. And then it was the you first see and then I forgot to explain like the true origin. In Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I mean, whoa. Okay, sorry. Captain America, the first Avenger.
Mm.
Um, it doesn't explain the exact origin of how it came to be, but this Tesseract was hiding in someone in Germany. It was hiding inside their
Yeah.
house in this like secret vault, and that's how the Red Skull found it
Mm.
and used it. And then Marvel's Avengers, that one is the already had the Tesseract in it, which Loki stole from Shield because Shield had it for quite a while actually. Like they
Mm.
still had it in Captain Marvel, and
Yeah.
they had it and
The
they still used
timeline
it.
of
It
it
was
is kind of
pretty cool.
confusing.
Yeah, because some
Mm.
movies are made before others, and it's like, but it came out after, but
Yeah.
it was takes place before. But I'll just do an order of release since that's
Yeah. And
easier for
everyone
me.
watching or
But
listening.
yeah, all right. Then that one, and then the scepter that was
Mm.
introduced because Thanos' servant had it, which it doesn't
Yeah.
explain how Thanos got it in the
The
first
thing
place, but
is,
he did
like,
it
he
too.
had two Infinity
Loki,
Stones, and he just kind of gave them away. Like, did he know they were in there? Like,
I think so because
Yeah.
what's it called? Uh, I think it was when he was with Gamora on Vormir before he killed her. He was saying like I'm not sure if it was exactly there, but I remember Thanos saying this that he had people try to get the stones for him, but he realized they
Yeah.
failed him or something like that. And uh and I think he didn't want to risk his life before it so he could have other people get the stones for him so it'd be easier that way. But I think in Infinity War he finally realized that he can't do that and that it's just gonna take too long and
Yeah.
he has to do it himself
But the
since
thing
he
is,
knows
he
what he's
still had he would
for.
have had 2 Infinity Stones. He could have made like a half gauntlet or something. And like that still would have been better than like nothing. Like he still could have probably taken on the Avengers with Loki. And that
Wait, but the gauntlet was actually introduced in the cutscene of
yeah.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. So I think the gauntlet was only created
Yeah.
then, which was in
Oh.
2015. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
Avengers came out in 2012, and that's usually the timeline that to stick to with the movies, except Endgame because they do the whole 5
Yeah.
years later. Um, but besides that, yeah, next movie, Thor: The
The
Dark
Reality
World.
Stone.
Um, the ether, which turned
Yeah.
into the
Well,
Reality Stone.
was
Yes,
it
and
did it originate as the
what?
Ether?
Oh, I think it was, and then because they had it in like that
Yeah.
rectangle box kind of, and then they kind of possessed it in there, and I think that put it into the stone. And so then, do you want to explain how that one was introduced?
To be honest, I don't remember Thor Dark World a whole lot.
It is. It's like a good movie, but
Yeah.
compared to all the other MCU
It's
movies, it's
usually the
not
one
one
that
a lot.
I don't watch
But
a lot. Like, I mean, like it's. I'm not saying
yeah,
it's bad or anything because it's like good. It's just this kind of some parts.
just
Yeah, some
compared
parts
to
just kind
all
of
the
bored
other
me a
movies.
lot with that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, all right. I guess I'll explain it. Me and my dad before it was either before Infinity War or Avengers Endgame came out. We watched all of them. I think it was after Infinity War, and we just watched all of them. We had to go to a library. We had to rent some. We owned some. We just
Yeah.
tried to watch as many as we could, so we could like understand. Since we knew there was probably going to be time travel involved, and we just watched as much as we could. So it's pretty fresh in my mind, kind of. But basically, how it was found was she was what was it? Oh yeah, I don't exactly know how they got there, to like that one spot. I think there was like like the people were noticing like supernatural like distances or like differences and like stuff that was happening, and then uh Jane Foster, which was Thor's girlfriend, she tries to study stuff, and she's been like waiting for Thor since he's been in Asgard and hasn't come down, and she thought it was him, but then she was like, then she saw some kids playing in a warehouse, and they're like throwing keys down like a
Oh
stairwell,
yeah.
but then they like disappear
I
and then
remember
appear
that.
above them and fall down. And I think, and then Jane Foster, she started like going around wondering like where it was. I think she was like adventuring, and then she stumbled on this like place. She like got into this hallway, and then she was like getting like dizzy and stuff, and then she was like transported to where the ether was, and it was like really black, and there was like this rock walkway to like this big statue in the middle, kind of. It was basically like a big rectangle, but it had a slit in the middle where it was like red.
Yeah.
It was like glowing red. There was whispers in it, and she walked towards it as people would in a horror movie because they want to explore it. And then she went in and was like wondering about it, and then she stuck her hand inside it, and it got inside of her. And then that's
Yeah.
basically the topic of Thor: Dark World. They're trying to get it out of her and get the stone safe before the Dark Elves, which are the enemy, they're trying to use it for bad. They're trying to get it back. So that's how
Yeah.
the Reality Stone is introduced.
And then the Power Stone is next with
Yeah,
Guardians in the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. We
Yeah.
kind of basically already explained that. Our Lord, he at the very what is that the first scene? Second scene. The very first scene is when he sees his mother dies, and it's when he's kidnapped by Yondu. Pretty sad scene to go in for the very first scene of the movie. But on second scene in it shows him and he's just messing around. It was actually
Yeah.
featured in Endgame when Nebula and him see him. War Machine knocks him out and he's like calling him an idiot, and it's pretty funny. And then they go there, they find the Infinity Stone, and it's like this big, as Rhodey puts, War Machine says booby trap and stuff, but it wasn't. He gets in there and there's like this big thing, and he uses this like strong magnet to pull it out, and it's like this ball, kind of this like metal ball, and then inside it is the Infinity Stone, and then that's what they use, and that's how it's introduced. And then movie, which is Doctor Strange, and I know you love that movie, so I'll let you go ahead.
There's this doctor dude, and he gets a bad car wreck, and he tries to find everything he can do to fix his hands because he got fired from his job because he's a surgeon. He needs his hands, and he stumbles across like this mystic thing, and he gets a weapon called the Eye of Agamotto, and inside the Eye of Agamotto is the Time Stone. And it basically, like, yeah, he just gets it, but he technically can't use it until the very end. But the thing about this stone is there's a lot of consequences that come with it. Like, with most time travel, there is. Like, you can get stuck in time loops and, like, which he uses in the end to his advantage. But, yeah.
And then the Eye of Agamotto is like the like the powerful necklace that he's wearing.
Yeah.
In all the movies after Doctor Strange that he's in, he's wearing it. Next movie is
it Infinity War? It's the Soul Stone.
Yeah, I think the Soul Stone. Yeah. What? Yeah, that is it. All right.
Yeah, so basically, Thanos is looking for all the stones. Only two people in the whole world know where it is. Gamora and Nebula. He takes Gamora with him, hostage, and he goes to the planet Vormir. And the thing that was kind of cool is that you have to make a sacrifice to get it. Of course, the sacrifice he uses, like, it's a soul for a soul. So he throws Gamora off the cliff, gets the Soul Stone, and like we said before, it doesn't really do a whole lot, but
he had to go there with Gamora because Gamora had the map. Well, actually, she burned the map. There was only one map that showed where the Soul Stone was, and then she looked at it, burned it, so no one else could find it because she knew her father was coming for it, and that's why Thanos had to bring her with.
So, I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. And then so this finishes off our podcast. Sorry. Please our own site, Marvel Unwrapped podcast.godaddysite.com. Our Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube accounts all are at Marvel Unwrapped. Thank you for listening. This has been your Marvel podcast.